Good morning, everybody. I just want to welcome you to what I'm hoping is going to be a very exciting opening ceremony. Here I am cycling along in the peloton in my little warm up. Of course, these aren't my serious competitors. They're all still warming up. The Tour de France begins officially on July 5th and is taking place entirely in France this year, which is very unusual. Normally, they do cross the border into like maybe Belgium or Germany or even the UK. And I believe in 2026, or is it 2027? One of the two future years, they will be starting in the UK, which brings back childhood memories of seeing them go past near where I lived. Probably about 35 years ago. So probably all those people have long since retired, and they've probably given birth to the people that are currently registering as in the race. But I'm just going to burble for a few minutes because I can see people coming in and joining us, which is fantastic. We have the chat over here. And so if I just quickly type in the chat, I'm hoping everyone can see that. Oh, excellent. Hello from the UK to Penny, which is wonderful. And then I just want to also let you know that you can turn on closed captions that will do their best to translate what I'm saying into written English. I am English, incidentally, those of you from the UK as my people, but I've been living in California now for about 10 years. So I'm also equally at home on the American side of things. And I'm currently in a moderately sunny Oakland in California. And it sounds like from just looking at the chat, we've got a lot of Americans with us as well. Where are we? We've got Long Island, North Peters, Georgia, New York. Oh, Canada in the house. That's wonderful. Southern California, Austin, Texas. Oh my goodness, Newfoundland, Alberta. Oh, from the Netherlands as well. Oh, this is very exciting. So we've got people from all over the world joining us here today, which is fantastic. So let's do the official welcome. I realize my hair keeps disappearing, but I am my hair, Anne B. Byrne. I'm the host and the founder of the Quilt and Learn company and also the Tour de Fabric. I have to be honest, Tour de Fabric was inspired by the knitting and spinning community and possibly some weavers as well. They have been having the Tour de Fleece for at least 10 years, if not 20 at this point. I remember being on Ravelry.com, which is the knitting community website, many years ago and seeing the Tour de Fleece in full force over the summer. It only occurred to me last year to Google Tour de Fabric, and to my shock, I discovered there wasn't one. And so I knew that us quilters had to claim it. And so a new idea was born. I also knew from previous Quilt and Learn events and also the Quilt 2024 events last year that you all wanted longer to watch the workshops. So never let it be said that I don't listen to feedback. And so previous events have been like 3, maybe 5 days long, and you've had 24 hours to watch the workshops unless you bought a VIP pass. This time you've got more than a month. So nobody tell me at the end of this that they didn't have time to watch all the workshops, and tell all your quilting friends about this, because I don't want anyone to find out about it at the last minute and then not have time to watch everything. So we've got a whole month to watch all the workshops. They all went live this morning. And I'm going to take you through a few bits and pieces and show you how to access everything, and then also talk more about everything that is involved in this event, because we have a lot happening over the next month. So now that I've welcomed you, I'm going to start sharing my screen, say goodbye to the gentleman behind me, and take you over to our website. And in fact, I'm going to kick off. Let me just, here we go, with what we are competing for in the Tour de Fabric. So this is the magnificent trophy that we have coming our way. This scissors trophy, the scissors do detach and are usable. I can't say whether they're really fabric quality scissors, but I think they should at least be fine for cutting out any paper pieces that are there. But it is our leaderboard on August 3rd that will dictate who wins the Tour de Fabric 2025 inaugural trophy. It will be engraved with your own name and can be shipped worldwide. So don't hesitate to get involved. And then I'll talk in a little minute about how you earn points on the leaderboard. But I also want to make sure to thank our amazing sponsors. We have 3 wonderful sponsors, and each of them are giving us an amazing prize to give away. Benetex, of course, make wonderful fabric, and they have a huge bundle of back quarters, pre-cuts, the 10-inch charms, the 5-inch charms, the strips. They've got everything in there. And this is available to be won later on, and I'm gonna keep that little secret details to myself about how you win these prizes. But they'll be revealed next week once the tour officially starts. Then we've got from Aurifil a huge quantity. I think it's 30 different spools of their cotton foundations collection, 12 weight, which is great, of course, for kind of big stitch quilting. And then a 50 weight, which is ideal for piecing. And you get 2 ranges, 2 boxes of those. And then Baby Lock have really done us an amazing service by providing not only a year's membership to their Baby Lock sewing and embroidery classes, but also an enormous thread kit from Madeira. And I think Aurifil is obviously a very well-known thread brand, but I think Madeira we're probably all very familiar with as well. I know that I've used their threads for special machine embroidery and some quilting as well. And they've got a thread kit worth $415. Oh my goodness. Imagine how much thread that is going to be. You are not going to need any for years to come. So thank you to our sponsors, and of course, welcome to all of you here today. So lots of action going on already in our private community. This is what it looks like, and you can get to it by clicking the community tab at the top of the page on the quiltandlearn.com website. And your view probably looks a tiny bit different to mine because I'm the admin, and so I kind of see little prompts up here to add an offer and so on, and edit the photos and so on. But I did want to genuinely welcome everyone. We just celebrated Pride here in the Bay Area this weekend, and so a big shout out to all our LGBTQ+ attendees and just everybody worldwide. I'm delighted to have you with us. Delighted to have so many amazing people joining us, and so many familiar faces as well. Not just amongst the teachers, who I'm delighted when they come back again and want to share something new with the audience, but also amongst the attendees as well. There are some of you I know that have attended pretty much every event I've put on in the last 2 years, and I'm very grateful to you, and of course the new people. So this is our community. And you can see that there are a few pinned posts at the top explaining like which notifications to get and how the leaderboard works. And then, of course, there's the menu down the side. We've got a special section for challenges, which I'll come on to in a moment. But there is that leaderboard, and apparently I'm doing quite well, probably because I'm busily running around welcoming everyone. Now, the leaderboard has presets on it, so I can't make it exactly how I would run it, but we have a weekly leaderboard and then also a monthly leaderboard. And what I will be doing is going in on July 31st and writing down everybody's monthly score for July. And then I'll be going in again on August 3rd and adding those 3 days of scores onto the July ones, to give us the overall winner who will go home with this amazing trophy. And of course, how do you win points? How do you score points on the leaderboard? And of course, back in the UK, I don't know if it's as common in the US, but there's a famous phrase of points mean prizes. But in this case, points don't necessarily mean prizes, but they definitely mean trophies. But let's look at the challenges, because the challenges are a large part of how you can get points on the leaderboard. And of course, mine's taking ages to load. So first of all, there are quilt-along challenges, and these are in a funny order here right now, I know. But the first quilt-along challenge is a progress challenge, and that kicks off on July 6th. And these quilt-along challenges are only open for 24 hours. So you have to pounce while they're available. But there are various different quilt-along challenges on different dates, and a final one on August 3rd that you can join, and you can get 50 points on the leaderboard by participating in one of the progress challenges and sharing a picture of where you are in your quilt-along, whichever quilt-along it is, and I'm going to talk more about those in a moment. But also in the finish along as well, which has recently been added to the quilting page. There are a couple of introductory challenges, which people joined last month. And then, of course, there are all the teacher challenges. And so we've got a challenge for every workshop here. And as you can see, there's a large number of them, and these are all already open. So once you've watched a workshop, you can go along, see what the challenge is. The challenge will be on the teacher page, just underneath the workshop. Come over to the community, find the workshop challenge, and go ahead. And again, more than 50 points for completing one of the workshop challenges. So there's lots there to look into. If you're curious about what you get points for, then this post, how the leaderboard works, will give you this little image. So you complete a challenge, is 50 points. You comment on a challenge, 10 points. Reactions, and then there's other posting and reacting and receiving reactions. There are points available for all these things. So I hope you enjoy, all of you going into the community. And of course, this is not on Facebook. Facebook has been a little bit unfortunate for some of us recently, or not even recently, for quite a while now. And it's not great from my point of view, because I could easily get kicked off Facebook for some mysterious reason that I'd never totally understand. And then I'd lose contact with you all. So this is why I'm really big on this private community. And I know some of you don't want to share all your posts about quilting with all of your followers. And here it's entirely private. No one who hasn't registered for the event can see what's going on. Anyway, what I mentioned the quilt-alongs, and there's all those challenges. And indeed, there will also be an additional challenge for if you finish your quilt-along by August 3rd, then you'll be able to post a picture and get bonus points for that. But these are all of the quilt-alongs that are going on. It's really astonishing, the variety. I mean, look, we've got a beautiful modern one here, amazing fused applique. This is more, I think I'm right, there's another fused applique. We've got some beautiful pieced ones. This one goes great, the fast track quilt-along with Andrea's stretching your quilt block workshop. You've got some fabulous ones here, another lovely modern one with Pollyann Knight. These legit kits are astonishing. You can just get the patterns, but you can also get the whole kit. And that's Glo Jensen doing that. We've got a lovely one that includes embroidery down here with Tracy Souza, a beautiful, striking pieced one with Elizabeth Whitehead. You can imagine how that would look in different color palettes. And then, of course, there is the finish along with me. I heard from a lot of my audience when I sent out a newsletter a few weeks ago that they weren't necessarily joining the event because they just had too many projects already going on. And so I wanted to say, well, that's fine. Bring one of your unfinished projects along and finish it along with us. So we will be the peloton group, using some Tour de France terminology there. The peloton group is kind of the main mass of riders who tend to all kind of ride along at more or less the same rate. There's often a breakaway group, which is the leaders that zoom off ahead and will go out on sprints at different points. But there's a lot of changing in the Tour de France between these different groups. And then, of course, there's the stragglers at the back. And I'm not saying that I won't be one of the stragglers, but I'm going to try my best to stay in the peloton. So yes, if you have an existing project, do share it with us in the Finish Along channel on the community. I shared last night the project that I'm hoping to finish, not hoping, I am going to finish. And when you sign up for the Finish Along, there is a very important statement that you have to read out with your hand on your heart, and it involves cookies, as many of my statements do. And of course, if you haven't been grabbed by any of these quilt alongs, although honestly, I can't imagine there isn't at least one which is singing your name, then we do have a pattern bundle. Oh, I've already got it loaded here. And this is where you get, it's actually 19 patterns. I realized I hadn't added one of them, and my apologies to the author that I'm going to do this just after this meeting. So there's actually an extra one that will come on here. And if you've already bought the pattern bundle, you'll get an email just to let you know that this extra pattern is now available for download. You get instant access to all of these amazing patterns. It's just so many astonishing ones. Look at this Mountain Breeze. It looks like a Bargello, but it isn't. And it just makes a beautiful use of like strips, a jelly roll, I'm guessing. Gorgeous little embroidery. There's a Pajagi pattern here. You don't see a lot of those. And yeah, there's all sorts. Some of them are full size, some of them are wall hangings, there's a table runner, and then you also get this wonderful little handbook as well. And as well as all these amazing quilting patterns, you also get this astonishing 5-class coaching bundle, which comes from one of our teachers, Dara Thomason. So that's absolutely incredible. And that's all in the pattern bundle, which is all available for just $49. Now, I haven't even mentioned the workshops yet, which seems crazy, but here they are. They are all on the workshops page. You can access this at any time. You do need to be logged in to access the workshops. So the login link is always here at the top right of the page. If you are already logged in and you try and log in again, it will take you to the library, which has some links for bits and pieces. That's also where you will find the pattern bundle if you bought it, and the extended access once that kicks in on August 4th, once all the usual access ends. And you'll find lots of links to all the workshops and things like that there as well. Now, you can, of course, watch every single workshop right now. You can watch them all today. Well, you can't watch them all today because there's not enough time, but you could get access to them all today. And if I skip past all of these text and links, you've got a list here of workshops by teacher. And this is by alphabetical order by the teacher's first name. And so you can see you've got all these amazing workshops, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who keeps reading this HRTs as hormone replacement therapy. I am at that point in life. And so half rectangle triangles is, of course, what is actually meant there. But you've got such a variety here. Claudia Shearer's Expressive Stripes workshop is a masterclass in modern quilting. You've got one of Dara's amazing sessions here, a coaching session. You've got ones on designing for Irish chain quilts. You've got Pajagi. Pollyann Knight is just amazing at free motion quilting, and she has got so many people started. And they just go on. You know, broderie purse, you know, I often hear about this, especially in my training as a quilt judge, and I've seen it at quilt shows, but how often do you see a workshop on broderie purse? That's a really unusual one. Once you've got started on free motion quilting, Swirl Your Way to Pebbles is a great kind of next step workshop. English paper piecing, my own joy and love. Here's Susan Bunce is giving you her take on that. So many amazing. Oh, and look, here's another amazing workshop, Choosing Colors Without Color Theory. Yeah, there's a great workshop there by me, and there are some freebies to go along with that. And of course, there are freebies to go with all of the workshops. Let's just have an example here. Let's skip over to Jen Esrich's page. So each of these links takes you to the individual teachers' pages. And if you haven't registered, there's a reminder to do that, but there's also a reminder at the top to scroll down to see everything. Because I know some of you are sometimes worried if you don't see things at the top of the page, you're worried that you've gone to the wrong page. But no, this is a lot of information. So you've got the biography, you've got examples of her beautiful work. It's just astonishing. And then you've got an outline of her workshops. And of course, I'm not logged in, so I'm not seeing it. But if I were, and I thought I was, then you would see the workshop recording here. Let me actually just quickly log in. Is it going to pause me quickly? So here we go, because it's silly not to show it to you. And I thought I was logged in. Here we go. This is the library page that you get to. But if I go back to Jen Ascripture's page, I think, is it this one? Here we go. Then this is where we just saw a moment ago that it said I needed to log in. Now, when I'm in the same place, it's got the actual video. Here we are ready to go. I can click play. I can turn on closed captions, change the volume. I can also change the speed if I want to. And if you are watching on a dodgy internet network, you can reduce the quality as well and play it at a different quality. And of course, you've got the workshop challenge. And that's where all these challenges come in. So from the Irish Chain Quilt Designs workshop, share a photo of what you have made or the fabric you might use. So whether you are actually making along with the workshop or whether you are just thinking about it and might do it later and are kind of banking all the ideas for later, you can enter the challenge and go ahead and visit the community. And of course, this is also where all the free downloads and bonuses are. And almost all the teachers have one, and they are all absolutely fabulous. So here you can see that Jen is giving you a beautiful Irish chain quilt pattern. So there's a whole full-size pattern here to be downloaded for you to use and add to your I'm sure your queues of patterns are as long as mine. But you can just go ahead and access the downloads straight away. And with all of them, if you have any problems accessing them, you've got their email address here to use to contact them if there's any problems, but I'm sure there won't be. Although I have just seen that apparently I have not put the finish along link. Thank you, Melanie, for letting me know in the chat. That's embarrassing. Of my own finish along, and I haven't put the link on the quilt along page. So give me a few minutes after this ends, and I will absolutely get to that. So we've talked about the quilt alongs. We also need to talk about the patterns. I don't think we talked about this already, did we? I'm entirely forgetting what I'm up to. Oh no, we did. We'd already been through the patterns and seen all these amazing ones and all the bonuses there. I'm forgetting what I'm not doing. Again, it's that whole HRT brain thing. But let's talk about some of the other things that are going on, because as well as all of those pre-recorded workshops to watch, as well as all of those bonuses to download, you have got live events happening as well, of which this, of course, is the first. And welcome to anyone who's just joined us recently. So here we have all of the upcoming events, and this page is here, live events. You can click on that at any time and see all of these. Everything is on Zoom. So if you're able to watch this, you're going to be able to participate in all of these events. And these events are all going to be recorded, and they'll be put up on YouTube within 48 hours of the live event, as it says up here, exactly there. And there's a link to the YouTube channel as well. So starting tomorrow, we have a trunk show, and we have 4 wonderful teachers who are joining us, teachers and designers. Then we've got a pattern writing discussion, all about people who do write patterns pretty much for a living. And so you get some real expert advice there. And of course, the joy of these live events is that you can submit questions, as you can here. There is a Q&A open at the moment. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate, pop them in there and I will answer them at the end. But yeah, if you have questions about pattern writing, if it's something you've been thinking about getting into, then absolutely ask them from answers from the experts in real time. Then we've got another discussion, July 14th, about quilt judging. And of course, there's all these trunk shows going on at the same time. It's different people each time. And honestly, these trunk shows at the January Quilt and Line event, these were some of the most popular elements of the event. They're just fascinating seeing everybody's work. And then I wanted to particularly point out that there is a full-day workshop happening on July 26th. We're going to be making a sew together bag. Let me just show you what that looks like. There it is. And when I stop sharing, I will show you a couple of examples that I've got in my hand in real life that come from recent workshops. It is entirely free for registered attendees, so everyone here can attend for free. We can have up to 500 people attend. I suppose it's possible that we may max that out because there's certainly thousands that have registered for the Tour de Fabric, but we'll see how we go. Just register as soon as possible. And if people want to come who aren't registered for the Tour de Fabric, remembering that registration is free, so I cannot imagine why they would want to do this, but it does usually cost $75 when I run this workshop in the public, which I most recently did, I think it was back in March. And I know I've taught it live at least once this year already as well. You do need to buy a copy of the pattern, because we need to be fair to the pattern designer, who is a marvelous woman, and her pattern is legendary in its own lifetime. The pattern is $10.80 for a paper copy on Amazon. Don't ask me why. And $12 if you get a digital copy from the designer. The bag class won't be recorded, although I may change my mind on that actually, because the timing is not super convenient for people who are outside the US. So actually, let me say the bag class will be recorded. And you'll probably want to fast forward through big chunks of it, because big chunks of it will be us sewing away. So here we are. So you can go ahead and register for this event. It's back on the live events page. Here it is, just in that top menu. And you can see all of these events in your own calendar time. You can, if it doesn't automatically update, you can find your calendar zone here, and you can add them all to your own calendar, either one by clicking on the little plus here, or by subscribing to the entire calendar, which is a bonus if you have a digital calendar, as I do. Now, let's have a look at one other thing, which I'm very excited about, and which went live this morning, which is your digital goodie bag. And in fact, since it went live this morning, I have added more things, so it's worth keeping an eye on it. First of all, from our sponsor, Aurifil, we have this amazing free digital bundle, which includes a mini quilt pattern, a thread reference card, and a swatch book. So that's astonishing, and that's available worldwide. Go there, click on the button. You don't have to enter your email address. It's all there. Okay, that's absolutely fabulous. Although maybe you do have to enter your email address. Now I've said that. Anyway, you'll soon see. You'll soon see. And then they've also offered 20% off at aurifil.com. Now, I'm really sorry, people around the world. This is only a USA offer, because Aurifil has different companies because they're so big. They have different companies for each of their different sites. So this is just a USA offer, but it is there. However, there are lots and lots of worldwide offers. Amazing if you want to join that quilt along with Ali Ride, then she's got 20% off her quilt pattern, or even if you don't, there's 20% off the pattern. Other people, other teachers, other designers have got all sorts of discounts here. There's a free tool, there's a couple of free patterns, there's $50 off a crafty retreat. You've got to go and look at this retreat center as well. It's absolutely beautiful. There's longer courses with discounts, there's other free patterns. There's all sorts of things here. And it also includes a 15% off for My Little Shop, which includes 15% off if you buy a kit for the Sew Together bag. So don't forget to take advantage of that. So there we go. The digital goodie bag is there in full. Now, let me see, what have I talked about? I've gone through the live events. I've gone through the workshops. Oh, I didn't mention the podcast. So there is a podcast happening. Oh, yes. This is going to start next week, and it's optional, of course, whether you want to actually subscribe to it or not. But it'll just be little short episodes. Expect episodes of sort of 5 to 10 minutes every few days. There'll be an update on the Tour de France as it's actually happening. And of course, the Tour de France, if you've never watched it, it's actually quite fascinating. I tend to just watch the summaries at the end of the day. And I'll find a link and I'll include it in one of the emails I send out for how to watch the Tour de France, because sometimes it's a little bit, you have to kind of go a little bit around the houses to watch it for free, certainly. But I'll include a link of where to find it. And it is quite fascinating. The British commentators, they have an end of day roundup, which is like an hour-long program rather than watching the whole thing, which I can understand might not be everyone's cup of tea. But don't forget the scenery. France is very beautiful. They are experiencing a heat wave at the moment, so those poor riders are going to be terribly red and hot, but we'll just have to hope that they're all drinking lots of water as they go around, which I'm sure they will do. So yes, I'll talk on the podcast about what's actually happening in France. And of course, the Tour de France is the first race, but then there's the Tour de France Femmes, which is why our event is lasting until August 3rd, because the Tour de France Femmes begin just as the Tour de France Mems, no, OMS, I suppose it would be, finish. Anyway, so yes, I'll talk about that. But we've also got little interviews with the teachers, and there'll be progress on the leaderboard to be reported as well. One thing I do want to mention, oh, what have I done? Is of course the checklist. Thank you, Melanie, for reminding me about that. And I also wanted to post this link in the chat. There it is, of a giveaway for this event. One person will win a Sew Together bag kit, which includes the zips, the 4 zips that you need at the right lengths. It includes the piece of flex foam that you need in the right size for the bag, so that you don't have to buy a whole pack of a couple of yards. And I can't remember, does it include anything else? I'll put a Tour de Fabric pin in there as well, which are of course extremely desirable and limited edition. I think I've only got about 100 left now. And I'll share that pin with you in just a moment. But yes, Melanie, the checklist, I did want to mention that. That was something that just went up last night. If you go and look at the workshop page, it is on there, and you can download it there. It's also on the home page. If you scroll down to where all the teacher pages are, it's there as well. So do get hold of that checklist, and that will help you stay up to date with everything that you've seen and everything that you have yet to see, including all those amazing bonuses. Here I am, still pedaling along on the Tour de France. Here we go, warming up. Now, I said I would share the pin. Let me see if my camera will show it. There we are. This is the little Tour de Fabric pin. And it has a lovely little brooch back on the back, and looks, I have to admit, quite amazing. I will put mine back on in a moment. And here are those Sew Together bags. This is one. This is the one I made probably about at least 12 years ago, I should think now, which has got some little ribbon weaving on it, which is always rather lovely. This is one that I made during my last class, and I haven't actually sewn the ends on yet. These go just to join the binding here and create a lovely handle. In fact, 2 handles, one at each end for you to hold on to it with. And it's got all these lovely pockets on the inside. So 3 zippered pockets, and then the 4 in between pockets. And then the whole thing zips up. If you're not a fan of zippers, do not worry. The way these are used is very straightforward, very easy to do. You do need a zipper foot. Otherwise, you are definitely going to struggle with this particular bag. But there we go. That's all in the instructions once you sign up. And remember, it's completely free. Does each stage on the checklist equal 1 day? Yes, it does. So each stage is 1 day. There's also a few days that don't have stages. On the Tour de France itself, they have rest days so that their poor little legs big legs, I guess, can recover. And so I've indicated rest days, and there's also a couple of days that we're calling quilt along stages. And this is a chance for you to catch up with your particular quilt or finish along so that you can get bonus points for finishing on time by August 3rd. So yes, do have a look at that checklist and see what's going on. Now, I must reiterate, you can watch all the workshops now. I'm not telling you that you have to wait. But if you don't have much time, or you want to space it all out, or you just want to enjoy the whole month of community and joining together and having fun and talking about quilting, then I have allocated them to specific days. But you can absolutely watch as many as you want, as soon as you want, in whatever order you want. And don't forget to download all those amazing bonuses as well. So I hope that you have all entered the giveaway. This was intended to be specifically for people who came along to the live version of our opening party, because we are having a party. I'm so excited. It's very strange for me because I'm still sitting here in my little office space in Oakland in California. And I know, I mean, there are plenty of you, 86 people on this call. So I know there's 86 people out there around the world, but I also know there's thousands of other people who have registered and may well be watching the recording of this later on. But I don't see any of you. So this is why I love the community, and I get to hear what you're all doing, get to see that you're all excited, which workshops you're enjoying, you know, where you all are. Hello, Deborah from, I'm going to mispronounce this, Chilliwack. Is there really a place called Chilliwack? I must be mispronouncing that. Anyway, it's an awesome name. I'm not mocking it. And I am pronouncing it right as well. Huh, extraordinary. Canadians. Who knew? So whether you are in Chilliwack or, oh, Chilliwack, there we go, that's better. If you're in Chilliwack, or if you're in New York, or if you're in the UK, or in the Netherlands, wherever you are around the world, I hope you've entered that giveaway. The link will go away in just a moment. Don't enter the giveaway if you're watching the recording, because it was just for the live people. And I will be contacting the winner very shortly, because entries will close in the next 3 minutes at 11:40 a.m. precisely here on the Pacific Coast. So thank you all so much for joining me here. It's so exciting to have had this kickoff with you. I will get the recording of this up on YouTube as soon as possible. And please have a fabulous rest of your day. Hello to Brazil, Joanna, wonderful, how exciting. And please let me know in the community which workshops you're watching, what you're enjoying, which quilt alongs you're signed up for, what your finish along is about. I love it. I love it all. All right. Thank you all so much. And hopefully I will see some of you tomorrow at the first of the trunk shows. All right. Goodbye.